What up, it's your boy Zero Brew coming back at you with another video. Now, this is part 4 of the, I guess, I'm going to end it here on part 4 of the series unless something else pops up. But basically, I wanted to do a video series just trying to understand what the gear enhancement allows you to do in the game. Meaning we now have free gear removal or swaps and things like that. And of course, there's the presets in the game. So we're trying to utilize those and be able to get better stats out of all of your champions, right? And traditionally, I've always just, put different champions in different sets of gear at the different time and just kind of have them always built out. And I don't know if that's the right way to do things anymore, especially now with the Faction Wars Hard, which is absolutely absurd. It's impossible to do without potentially getting the best of the best gear on your champions or putting in a niche set like a stun set. I always go back to this one. If you've seen, this is my other parts of the series, but we have an arena nuker situation for Marius, and we have a 9-piece Slayer set when we play against Chimera, Hydra, and things like that in the game. So certain things like that. So I'm thinking like when we get into Centranos, Sin City, all of those things, or even Faction Wars, potentially we might need to put on stun sets or poison sets or things like that. And again, you need really good stats to defeat these bosses. In fact, I would go as far as to say Faction Wars Hard right now is overtuned. This is my 3.5-year-old account, and I have spent a lot of money in this game, and I struggle in Faction Wars as well. Pull it up and just kind of show how many points I have. 744 out of 945. Again, I haven't tried hard on these higher levels, but like for example, I've got 3 stars on stage 19 and 20, and I skipped 17, 18, whatever. And you will need certain gear sets to be able to go through and do the different requirements for these stages. I could do this in 1 minute and 39 seconds, 3-star, no problem. I got 4, I got Tawana Rock, I got a bunch of awesome champions, have gone through and smoked this. 3 stars, done and done. I can't beat the boss, right? So this is where potentially you need to, and of course I don't have my keys right now, I've already run them. You know what, it's the same thing and this as well. And again, I haven't gotten 3 stars on these higher levels. So we'll have to understand what we need to do for those. But same thing on this boss right here too. Like I can't do it with what I got going on. And some of it might be control on the champions, and some of it may just be you need better stats. I do think Faction Wars Hard is overtuned, needs a nerf eventually. Maybe they'll give that to us when they roll out the new content at the end of the year or beginning of the year next year. Maybe they'll tweak Faction Wars Hard and peel it back some. And we have seen where they've done that in Iron Twins, Sand Devils, and Phantom Shoguns. They have peeled back the required stats you need to do some of that. And my understanding, and again, Faction Wars was way in the game when I started playing, but my understanding is the original Faction Wars was like that too, and they had to adjust and lower it, make it a little bit easier for people to get. That being said, I'm not stressed because Polera, I do want Polera, but Polera has not turned out to be like the most end-all go-getter champion. I don't think I've actually seen her being played against me at all in the game. That could be me. That could mean that nobody's got her, or that could mean that she's just terrible. So I'm not stressing it too much. So in this video, that was my long-winded intro. But in this video, we do want to kind of walk through what I want to do with certain champions. Now, on the last one, we found that I had plucked gear off Leoris and I never put a new set on him. So what we're going to do is we're probably going to do a basic set for him with what I have on. So I'm going to do that first, and then we're going to build like an ultimate Skinwalker nuking set. And then eventually that's what we'll want to do is we want to go through and just build all these ultimate sets for our different champions, that we can swap them out, or our most used champions that we use in different content of the game. Real quick, click the link in my description to get a free Karato as well as Annex, Ugo, and Mausoleum Mage as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Player and Play on a PC and uninstall. Click the link in my description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champion. Get an awesome start in Raid Shadow Legends with your free Karato Fox Hunter as well as 3 epic champions. Hit the link below and claim them today. I'll see you in the game. Woo! All right, so now one caveat or one disclaimer, I do have, you can see where I last built Marius. Like other champions, like let's just say Taras, for example, I had him marked as a 5-star, and I eventually backed off because I'm not really using Leo anymore. Leo was my very first legendary I got in the game, so he always had a special place in my heart, and I used him a lot to carry me in the first 2.5 years of playing my account. Is my arena nuker and content, wave clear. He did so much for me back in the day, but I marked him as a 3. But basically the point of that is, and you can mark these if you go into the settings and change it to the advanced settings, you can do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And basically the way I did it was 5s were my best of the best, like the Tarasas, Marishkas of the world. I'm always going to use those champions because they're just meta and that OP and powerful. I wanted to keep the best gear on them always. And then, 4s are like the next tier down. 3s are like, okay, kind of in the middle. Maybe I don't want to take gear from them, or I might want to search and building out a new champion and maybe take some gear from some different champions. And the way to do that is when you go in. So I got damage on the highest. This is probably the last time I ran it, whatever speed that I put on here. But if you go into the configuration file, and you can see, because it left it here, I was like, hey, build this champion, and you can look at champions that are marked 1, 2, or 3, basically is what I have this set on. I'm saying, hey, include artifacts on locked champions. All my champions will have a 1 through 5 ranking, basically, unless they're brand new on the account. And again, I'm excluding 4s and 5s. I'll just run this to see what it does. But I think today, what I'm going to do, so I mean, this is going to look for 3s and this is going to look for 5s. And that was actually really, really fast. Let's see where it's plucking it, right? So I'm taking stuff off He-Man, and that might be the right answer. He-Man is a 3 as well. But what I think, some Hegemon and all these different champions. So you can see, like, hey, I don't really use these champions, but they have gear on them in the game. So I think what I'm going to do for this is we're going to get his preset on him, and we're just going to say do not include any artifacts. So this is going to search my database of gear that's not on current champions and give me the best possible damage that we can get with my gear that's not on a current champion, that from his. So here it is, right? So defense base is using crit rate, crit damage gloves. So speed with some defense. This looks like this came off Marius, honestly. Speed Slayer boost with defense percentage. Oh wow, that's very interesting. But it is probably Slayer set. Let me see. Let me equip this in game. You know what? I'm just gonna equip this and we'll go from there. So what is this doing? Yeah, 3-piece Slayer set. Honestly, if we could get a 4-piece Slayer set on him, that'd be tremendous. Tack on this. Let's see about a rework. Not a rework. Yeah, let's see if we can get crit damage. Come on, crit damage! Come on, crit damage! Come on! Don't do me like this. Burn up all my powders in one thing. All right, there we go. We got the crit damage. We'll make that maximum. And this is a Skinwalker item, right? So yeah, and this one, attack-based snooker, attack ring, attack ascension, triple roll of attack, which is best you can get on an epic piece. So yeah, that's why I put that on him. So we've made some changes. Let's double check this. We'll do a so we'll hit back, we'll hit clear. We'll hit the live refresh just for S's and G's on this. I'm going to run this again just because I changed that crit damage piece, because it should be able to go through. Yeah, so we've now lowered our crit damage. It completely changed out my gear. I don't know, but it says we're going to get an extra 16 damage on this. I don't know. So this is where it gets all weird and kludgy, right? It's like, okay, what did this put on us? So 3-piece protection set and only a 1-piece Slayer set. So I kind of like where that was going. I kind of want maybe 4-piece Slayer where you're at least getting the 5% turn meter boost for the first hit on each enemy AoE attacks. Yeah, and so because he's got the AoEs on the A2s and the A3s, so that would help him out tremendously as well. But anyway, this is what it says. We'll roll this gear. We'll put it on him. I don't know. I'm so confused with what the optimizers is trying to do for me. But anyway, that's what we'll do is we'll save this as his current preset, and then we'll try to build him an ultimate nuker set, right? We'll just walk through that process. In fact, before rolling this, actually, yeah, I'm gonna pause it here. I'm gonna roll those boots, maybe ascend them and see what happens and see what the final set's gonna be. Okay, I have to pause this here. I think I had 80 or 90 dust. I used up all my dust and I kept getting flat stats. Could not land speed whatsoever. I did land 1 HP percentage, but I kept going and it kept landing the flat stats. Didn't even land attack. This is absurd. Whatever. I don't even know. I'll take it up to 6% because defense ain't gonna help Leoris. I'm so baffled at how this game works. It took a lot to get that stack of dust. I had about 100 and I've rolled a couple of pieces, but that one just used up all my dust. It's all gone, and that's such a crap mechanic in the game. Yeah, let's see. I'm so befuddled. Yeah, we landed HP. I don't even want to re-roll it. I would love to get crit rate and crit damage, but if we land on these other crap stats, it's like, ugh, I'm scared. I'd rather have HP percentage there. And especially if it's on, I don't know, an HP based nuker could potentially use a protection set. I don't know. I'm so baffled. I don't even know. Words are eluding me. Okay, whatever. I got an extra like 16% damage out of this. I'm gonna save this as his yeah, we're gonna delete this, and I'm gonna go in here and I'm going to manage preset. So we're going to go in here and we're going to save what he's currently working on, save as a preset. So now we have his preset. So this is gear that today is not currently on the champion, and this is going to be like his base stats. Let's see where his stats are. Only 5987. By the way, I haven't glyphed a lot of this stuff, so I'm sure I could squeak out a lot more stats on this if I really wanted to. But again, I'm not using my Leo, so that's another thing. Is like, do you want to use your glyphs and all that stuff on a champion like this just to squeak out something? But anyway, so those is total stats. So we got 292 on the crit damage. He is wearing some sort of relic, attack, a little bit of defense, HP percentage, and not really any accuracy at all. So he's not going to land his debuff. So we got the Maleficent Talent on old boy right here. So now that we've done that, what we're going to do is we're going to go in here. I'm going to hit back, clear, live refresh. We're going to make sure the refresh is going to happen here. Should tell us right here in a minute. There it goes. Refresh. Okay, has happened. So now what we're going to do is we're going to optimize again. Again, I only had like 230 speed on this dude, so it is what it is. We're going to go back into the configure and I'm going to say, give me stuff that's on lock champions. So what this should do is find, yeah, so we're up to 7,400. We were at 5,900 on the attack, 330 on the crit damage. So as you can see, keeping the speed the same and the defense actually got better in HP. You can see the comparison here. In fact, you can see it right here. So we're basically giving up 3 speed, even more resistance and accuracy, and like 4,700 on the HP. But yeah, 74, we're gaining almost 1,500 on the attack, and we're getting an extra 45% damage. Now, again, I have the premium set, I pay for the premium from hillhades.com. So I don't know if you get to see these numbers, but this is one of the reasons why I do this. We get an extra 45%. That's almost like double damage output just for putting on this piece. Now, it is taking, you can see, that the crit damage glyph on the Sun Wukong. So that means I couldn't use Leo together with Sun Wukong. Also pulling a piece off of Marius, pulling a piece off of Teox. And you can see some of these champions are the level 5s, but we could do this potentially and get it absolutely insane. So that being said, we're going to do the equip, and I'm going to hit save. And this is going to be Skinwalker, attack, nuke, best. I don't know. Attack, nuke, best. Save as champion preset. So now we got the 2 different champion presets, right? And so this is, I guess, going to also illustrate. So I have not gone through what I said in the last video where I need to go through and save all the presets. We now have our best arena nuke. I just want to see what those total stats are going to be here. So I'm going to hit clear. Again, it just refreshed that piece of gear. I want to see where we got, it was like 1487 or something on the attack difference from what his current gear is. So here we go, 330 crit damage. Yeah, we went up to 1507. Some of this stuff is not even glyphed, like those boots aren't glyphed at all. That will also increase the damage potentially. So we got some flat attack, we can throw that on there. That's honestly it. So I guess really that recap of what I was saying is I need to still go through. I have yet to do what I said to do on my last video, but I need to go through like Valkonen, for example. Valkonen, but potentially I could do this with him as well. So Valkonen, click his gear, click the presets. I got whatever this preset is. We're going to delete that, and we're going to manage and delete that. And we're going to say, okay, save what I currently have on him. And I probably pull this off of him just to get him with a set so he can go run something. We'll do one more real fast and we'll do this. So we actually had one to save, but now if I go and pull that stuff off of him using the Leo, that will you need to make sure to put a set back on him. So now I have that other set I can put back on him, but I'm done. But let's just say I wanted to do Valkonen as well. We're going to click this, exclude the damage. So how much better can we make our Valkonen? So really, based on the gear that he currently has on, we do get an extra 51 crit damage, but we lose stats in other areas. Yeah, an extra 9% damage if I did this and pulls gears off of Gizmac and Estrid or whatever, we could attempt to, you know, equip and to enable this. Oh, hold on. You also have to do that. You got to get it on the champion. Valkynon. But see, like at this point, like I don't know if this even is the best gear set to put on him. So equip in game, hit save, and we'll just say, because this is undead, attack, nuke, best. According to whatever, and this is, I guess, a 4-piece stone skin. Save as a preset. Yeah. So you can see all the different champions that this is going to be pulling off of. We would just have to, you know, basically go fix that every single time that we use these champions. I think that's the way we just have to start doing this, and so I think that's it. So as a full-on fledged recap, create all your gear sets and do your preset so that you can quickly swap the gear back on your champions, and then go through and save a secondary preset. And that secondary preset is either going to be, hey, I need the best of the best stun set, or I need a stone skin lethal set for arena nuking, or I need a 9-piece slayer set because I have AoEs on this champion and I'm going in against Chimera or Hydra or whatever. And you start building out those specific sets, and then because you have those presets there, you can, you know, swap those roles, have them do what they need to do, and then go swap the gear back onto them, and then you can go back to those other champions and swap their gear back on. And I will say I made that mistake several times because the preset today on my Marius grabs that crit damage piece. But yeah, I pull this awesome crit damage amulet off. You can see I get an extra 20% crit damage off of, but it's also a Slayer set as well. So I pull this off Sun Wukong, and I always leave my Sun Wukong naked. And without that extra crit damage on the Sun Wukong, he is hurting, right? Yeah, that being said, that's basically, I think, how the gear should work in this game. This is a crazy 4-part series on this one, and I have struggled. I have not moved any further on my gear sets on certain champions. This is a hex set, and yeah, so I got a preset on him, but it's not even his real preset. So delete preset. We're just gonna delete this preset too, and we're gonna save what he currently has on preset, and then in this case I'm gonna call it hex because this is what I use for him in Hydra. This is Chris. I use for him in Hydra. But, you know, potentially we can get a much better stat set out of him that we don't need hex, if you will. But I want to be able to go back to what he specifically has on him. So anyway, long-winded story. Good luck, editor, and we'll holler at you next time. Bye.